Sorry, honey. I've taken a wonderful fiancé. Are you upset that I'm happy? Jealous? Why do people who look down on others end up with such hideous faces? Her once cute face now looked distorted, as if it had been a lie. My sister looked down on me and my husband. My anger peaked, surpassing the limits of my patience. My name is Amy. I'm 27 and work at a printing company. Though it's a printing company, I'm in the design department, not operating heavy machinery. We design flyers and catalogs for various businesses, creating designs based on clients' needs. Despite the decline in demand for printed materials due to digitalization, designing is still a busy and rewarding job. I'm thankful for clients who request my services. Compliments like the flyer for the Christmas event was adorable and well received genuinely make me happy. This job could be called my life's work. I might stay single and focus on work my whole life. One day, while considering this, my father was hospitalized with appendicitis. The young doctor who greeted me with, "Hello, are you here to visit someone today?" When I went to see my father is now my boyfriend, David, and recently became my fiancé. You never know where or when you'll meet someone who can change your life. Even though I claim nothing is more important than work, I bought marriage magazines as soon as the topic of marriage came up. I guess I'm more excited than I thought. I flipped through magazines while having tea in the living room. Suddenly, my magazine was snatched away. "Hey, what's this? A bridal magazine? Why are you looking at something like this? It's none of your business, Sarah." The person who took the magazine from me was my younger sister by 2 years, Sarah. If you're thinking about marriage, look at yourself first. Know your place. You're thinking about marriage when you don't even have a boyfriend. In contrast, I've never been without a boyfriend. My current boyfriend is. And so my sister began boasting about her boyfriend without being asked. She has always been like this. Unlike my plain face, she's very cute and has always been popular. Everyone around her spoils her. Besides her parents and me, everyone has always agreed with whatever she said. As a result, she began to think of herself as the center of the world. My younger sister, who grew up arrogant, started looking down on me at some point. "Don't come near me. I don't want your face reflecting off mine. Even if you study hard, you won't get good grades. Why don't you just give up?" I got another confession from a guy today. "It's so tough being this popular, you must be jealous." She would go on like this endlessly, even when her parents scolded her strictly. It was too late. Her personality remained unchanged, and her verbal abuse toward me never ceased. Growing up like that, my younger sister now calls me. Fed up with my sister's boasting about her boyfriends, I sighed and finally spoke up. "I do have a boyfriend. In fact, we're engaged. I'm looking at these bridal magazines because we're getting married soon." Upon hearing that, my sister stopped dead in her tracks. If she thinks she's serious, she'll see a grin and a sarcastic smile. "Oh, really? There's someone who actually likes you. I wonder what he sees in you." "He likes my cheerfulness and positivity." "That sounds like a lie. He probably treats you like a housekeeper." "I plan on continuing to work, so he understands I can't be the perfect housewife." Upon hearing that, my sister reacted with exaggerated surprise. "Wow, you're gonna keep working even after getting married? You poor thing, you must be marrying a poor man." Her words rubbed me the wrong way. It seems she just can't help but look down on me. Money is not a problem. He's a doctor, so his income is stable. It's just that I want to keep working. When I retaliated, my sister suddenly fell silent. I sighed and went back to my room. "I'm a doctor, I see," she muttered under her breath, her words dripping with disdain. The first thing to do once you start discussing marriage is to introduce the fiancé to your parents. And so, David came to my house. The mood changed dramatically the moment my sister showed up after David had finished greeting our parents. "Oh, so this is your fiancé. He's quite handsome, Amy. I thought you were going out," Sarah said with a smirk. "If my sister's fiancé is coming over, of course I'd cancel my plans," she added, her tone dripping with insincerity. I had been relieved that my sister was not around, even if it was just by chance. But now, I had a bad feeling about it. In the past, when we were still students, my sister had stolen my boyfriends multiple times. Once we became adults, I stopped having boyfriends, and since my sister kept having new ones one after another, such incidents no longer occurred. My little sister's return made me feel uneasy, but I hoped she had grown up. I'd like to believe she wouldn't steal my fiancé. Yet seeing my sister acting all chummy with David, and my fiancé blushing, made me uncomfortable. My worst fear came true. Can we pretend this whole marriage thing didn't happen? I've decided to break up with you and start dating Sarah, David said, confirming my nightmare. I never thought that, even as adults, my sister would steal my boyfriend. Sorry I stole your fiancé, but it couldn't be helped. After all, David found me cuter and more charming. He proposed so passionately. Oh, it's a sin to be this cute, Sarah said, not apologizing at all, looking down on me arrogantly. Next to her, David, my former fiancé, added with a laugh, really? I had no idea you had such a cute sister. If I knew, I wouldn't have engaged with you. It's good that we broke up before the marriage. The moment I saw his distorted smile, all my feelings for him vanished without a trace. All that was left was a feeling of disgust. I'm also glad I didn't marry you, a man who can go to another woman so easily. I'll gift him to you with my best regards, I said calmly. Sounds like you're sorely defeated, Sarah mocked. Exactly, you're not cute till the end, David sneered. I wasn't being a sore loser. I genuinely felt this way. Apparently, the two of them, in their fantasy world, didn't get it. Interacting with you guys is a waste of time. Goodbye. She's such a sore loser. We're the ones wasting time. We're never going to meet again. Bye, Sarah sneered as they left, still looking down on me until the end. After that, we never met again because our furious parents banned them. I heard they got married, but it didn't matter anymore. 3 years have passed since I separated from my sister and her husband, and I'm now 30. I'm still working as hard as ever. During this time, one of my clients, Charles, liked my work and started requesting me repeatedly. As I talked to Charles through work, he eventually asked me out for dinner. Then he asked me out on a date. During one of our dates, he proposed to me. To be honest, I was very happy. Charles is a very sincere person. I thought he wouldn't do anything like my ex, but the incident with my sister had left quite a trauma in me. No way, but I couldn't help but wonder. That's why I told him honestly about my sister and my ex-fiancé. I showed him my sister's photo, gauging his reaction, but his expression didn't change. When he saw my sister's picture, he looked away indifferently and gave me a gentle smile. I hate to say this, but I used to be pretty popular. I've met more cute and beautiful women than your sister, but for some reason, I didn't fall in love with any of them. I thought I'd be single for the rest of my life without dating anyone, but I was wrong. What do you mean? I think I have a good eye for people because of my job. No matter how beautiful or well-dressed a person is, they can't beat inner beauty. That's what I realized when I met you, Amy. What do you mean? I thought you shone very brightly. Eh? When we were talking about work, I thought, Amy is so bright and beautiful. You smiled happily. I could tell that you were really enjoying your time with me. I could really feel that you were enjoying life. I thought you were dazzlingly beautiful. What? Hold on, this is super embarrassing. Despite my flustered reaction, Charles continued. Amy, you are beautiful, more beautiful and charming than anyone else. I've never met a woman as wonderful as you. I would like us to date with the intention of marriage. Truly, I really think of you as... Stop, no more, it's too embarrassing. I was blushing hard, but Charles's words didn't stop. He continued to compliment me even after I agreed to date him. Gosh, it's too embarrassing. Charles and I got married, and we happily became a couple. Our married life has been smooth, and I feel like we've grown even closer than we were before the wedding. We share the household chores, doing them whenever we can. Since my husband lived alone for a long time, he might even be better at household chores than I am. His cooking is the best, especially when I'm tired. On our days off, we often go out together. One such day off, we went to look at furniture as Charles had mentioned wanting to see some. It was then that I ran into the devil from my nightmares. Oh my, I thought I spotted a plain-looking woman, but it's you. I heard a voice behind me as I was looking at the bedding section. I didn't have to look to know who it was. Even though 4 years had passed since we last saw each other, she was unforgettable. Sarah. It was my younger sister. Next to her was my ex-fiancé, David. Sarah's face seemed to have hardened since the last time I saw her, whether it was because of her age or her personality becoming more pronounced. I couldn't tell. David, standing beside her, was also smirking, but he seemed to have lost weight. What brings you here? Nothing much, just looking at furniture. This place has a lot of expensive imported stuff. It's not really for people like you. Her condescending attitude was as annoying as ever. David nodded in agreement. Yeah, exactly. If someone like you comes here, it'll bring down the reputation of the shop. We don't want to be mistaken for being poor. You better leave. I was annoyed by their clattering words, but it was a waste of time to deal with them. Though I chose to remain silent, my attitude seemed to displease them, and their voices grew louder and louder. Oh, this is terrible. A luxury store is ruined like this. Why does such a poor person even come in here? They surely can't afford anything. Yeah, the poor should just leave. As this went on, other customers and the store staff started to glance at us curiously. Exasperated, I grabbed my husband's hand, intending to leave, but he didn't move. At that moment, my sister and her husband finally noticed him. Hey, who are you to her? I'm Amy's husband. My sister's eyes widened in surprise. What? You married this plain girl? Really, you're brave. Did you need a maid? That's hilarious. I help with the household chores. It's normal since we both work. Oh, both working. Poor thing. You're so poor that your wife has to work too. How pitiful. Unlike you, I'm living comfortably as a stay-at-home wife. We dine out more than half the week. Since we have money, we hire housekeeping services. Sorry for being winners? My sister extended the ending of her sentences in an irritating way. My frustration was growing. She smirked at me. Sorry for taking such a wonderful fiancé. Thanks to me, you have to keep working even after marriage and live a poor life with such a dull man as your partner. You two plain folks are a match. Are you envious seeing me so happy? You must be jealous, right? It's just like you to marry a man who can't even support his wife. Keep suffering for the rest of your life. Losers. I had reached my limit. I could stand her insulting me, but I couldn't bear her speaking ill of my husband. Listen here, you better stop. Amy, it's okay. Just as I was about to shout back, my husband stepped in front of me. Sarah, David, he said calmly, I love Amy for who she is. She's kind, talented, and strong. We both work because we believe in supporting each other's dreams and aspirations. Our marriage is built on respect and love, not superficial things like wealth or appearances. I feel sorry for you if you think happiness comes from putting others down. Sarah's smirk faded as Charles continued. We're here because we enjoy looking at furniture together, planning our future together. It's something we both take pride in. So, you can take your jealousy and misplaced superiority somewhere else. Amy and I are happy, and that's all that matters. My sister and David stood there, momentarily speechless. I could see the surprise in their eyes. I squeezed Charles's hand, feeling a surge of gratitude and love for him. Let's go, Charles, I said, smiling up at him. As we walked away, I felt lighter. I realized that no matter what my sister said, it couldn't touch the genuine happiness and love that Charles and I shared. Nice to meet you. I'm Charles, your sister's husband. Even your name is lame. Well, thank you. Since we've met, please accept my business card. As David took the business card my husband offered, he looked at my sister. You say such rather harsh things about Amy. That's because it's true. I can say an ugly woman is ugly. That's my law. There's no such law. And to me, you're much uglier. What? Shall we talk about the ugliness of your character? You seem confident about your appearance, but aren't you aware that your distorted personality, which only looks down on others, is showing? Despite his polite manner of speaking, his words were sharp. My sister's face gradually turned bright red. Don't joke with me. What's ugly about me? Everything. A beautiful person wouldn't be jealous of their sister and steal her fiancé, huh? Hadn't you ever admired Amy and wanted to be close to her, maybe even surpass her? No, there's no way that's true. I was surprised. It wasn't just my husband's words, but also the way my sister reacted to them. I had never thought about it that way. She always looked down on me. However, seeing her shaken, I started to wonder. One should simply ignore those who don't matter, those who are irrelevant. No matter who you bring along, she won't try to take him from you. After all, she didn't find him herself. Taking someone else's man implies jealousy, the resentment of someone else getting something that she couldn't have, no matter how hard she tried. So, I'm not jealous. Do you want to reassure yourself of your superiority by taking him away? So, you lack self-confidence. A confident person wouldn't do such a thing and could live with their head held high. No, that's not. My sister desperately tried to refute my husband's words, but her voice steadily weakened. Hey, you son of. David suddenly broke the silence, raising his voice with a pale face. He kept switching his gaze between the business card and my husband, shaking. My sister's shoulders slumped. What on earth? What's going on? This name, I thought I'd seen it before, so I looked it up. And when I did, aha, ha, it's Charles Taylor. So, what about it? It's such a common last name, it could be someone else, right? I've seen him at the hospital with the director a few times. I'm sure it's him. I didn't recognize him because I only saw him from a distance. I knew I'd seen him somewhere. If he's the son, he must be a doctor, right? Not every son of a doctor has to be a doctor. And this company, it's a super famous pharmaceutical company. I heard the founder was elderly, and it's been handed over to his grandson. That would be me. It was my husband who calmly addressed the two bewildered individuals. What? What did you just say? Ah, I'm. Seeing my sister unable to articulate her thoughts and David about to speak up, my husband calmly addressed the two of them, who had turned pale. I met my wife through my previous job before I took over my grandfather's business. I had heard about your story from her. It's far worse than I imagined. Well, my husband shifted his gaze from my flustered sister to David, his tone firm. A job that helps people requires empathy. Yet you look down and mock people instead. Who would want to be saved by such a doctor? That's a misunderstanding. David tried to explain with a pale face, but my husband, his eyes glaring, cut him off. No excuses. I'll let my father know about you. Await your fate. No. David slumped, head bowed. My sister still stood in shock. Turning her backs to them, we left the scene. I had a feeling I would never see the two of them again. With that thought in my heart, I walked on without looking back. So, what happened afterwards? David, my sister's husband, while not fired, faced a significant pay cut and was removed from any responsible roles. His arrogant behavior towards others had become habitual, and it seemed he was even cold towards patients. Naturally, he drew icy glares from everyone around him. Eventually, he left the hospital, struggling to find a new job and leading a tough life without work. And what about my sister? It was discovered that she was originally a reckless spender, and no matter how high her husband's salary was, their life was pretty tough. This explained why David had lost weight. It wasn't just weight loss, he was emaciated. Once David was hit with a pay cut, my sister quickly gave up on him and seems to have divorced him. If David was no good, she figured she could just find the next man. But reality proved different. Both my husband and I observed when we encountered her again. My sister, who had been charming in her youth, had acquired a harsh demeanor. Perhaps her true nature was finally revealing itself, leading to the end of her appeal to men. My parents called to inform me that she had returned to their house in tears, lamenting, "No one wants to date me." According to my sister, she wondered aloud, "I'm so cute. Why doesn't anyone pay attention to me?" She even expressed a desire to snag a good man and surpass me. When she mentioned she was likely referring to me. Perhaps she felt compelled by some unwritten rule to outshine me. My husband suggested she might have looked up to me once, but even if that were true, I could have forgive her behavior. In the end, my parents turned her away, telling her she had made her own choices and must face the consequences. She disappeared into the nightlife, and I haven't heard from her since. I doubt I'll hear my sister's name mentioned again. On the other hand, liberated from the burden of my sister and her husband, I was enjoying peaceful days, a tranquil married life, a job that I love. It's a fulfilling time, and soon, we'll be a family of 3. As I gazed at the computer monitor, I gently caressed my growing belly.